in our previous video we started the diatonic scales. All right, so I want us to go into it and explain it further over here. So we said that the diatonic scale was a makeup of the major scale. So taking our C major scale, we know this is our C major scale. Alright, so we said once we wanted to find the modes, we just have to change the root note, which is the starting point. Okay, so let's go over it. So once we are here, this will be our Ionian scale, where the scale formula is the tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's the normal major scale formula that we know, right? So the next on the list will be the Dorian, right? The Dorian mode, which will be the second mode. Alright, and the third on the list will be the Phrygian. Okay, the Phrygian, which is the third mode. Alright, and then the fourth on the list will be the Lydian, which is the fourth mode. Okay, and the fifth on the list will be the Mixolydian mode, which is the fifth mode. And the sixth will be the Aeolian mode, which is the natural minor scale. Okay, and the seventh will be the Locrian. Alright, and then the last of it will be back to the Ionian. Alright, so the real deal is when we talk about relative modes and parallel modes. Okay, so bear in mind that when we talk of parallel modes, when we talk of relative modes, they are basically what we know already. Okay, so we know that there's our major scale. Okay, and we know the sixth mode, which is the natural minor scale, is a sixth mode, is a relative mode of the C major scale. Alright, so that is what we mean by relative mode. Okay, we know that this is G major scale. Alright, so we know that E minor is a relative minor of the G major scale. Okay, so that is basically what relative is. It is basically other modes that do not share the root notes as that of the parent scale, but then have the same scale. Okay, they have the same scale notes, but they do not share the root notes of that of the parent scale. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deep into the parallel modes. Okay, so with parallel modes, it is a situation where the modes, okay, the modes share the same root notes as that of the parent scale. Okay, so C major scale, okay, C major scale is parallel to the C minor scale. Okay, so we can have this, all right, as the C major scale. Okay, and then instead of playing the minor, okay, the relative A minor, which we already know, we are going to play that relative minor over the C drone note. Okay, so we are going to do that basically by using the scale formula for the A minor scale. All right, so the scale formula is basically found by reorienting the letters, the position of the letters in the major scale formula. Okay, so we know that the scale formula for C major scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, so with that being the case, if you want to find maybe the Dorian mode, we just have to start on the second of that scale formula. All right, which will give us tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone. All right, so that is basically how it is found. If you want to find any of the modes being in the fifth, the sixth, just start on the fifth, all right, and then add the rest of it. Okay, so that is how you adjust the major scale formula to get the scale formulas of that of the other modes. All right, so back to the parallel mode explanation. So assuming we have our C major scale, okay, and we want to play the sixth mode, all right, which is the A minor scale. Playing it this way, okay, will only make it a relative mode, but playing it over the C major scale would mean that they will share the same roots, okay, and then it will be a parallel mode. Okay, so with that of the sixth mode or the Aeolian mode, it has a scale formula of tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone. All right, so once we are here on our roots and we move a tone, we are going to get this, which is D. Once we move a semitone, we are going to get E flat. Once we move another tone, we get F. We move another tone and we get G. We move a semitone, we get G sharp. Move a tone, we get B flat. Then we move another tone, then we get back to our C. All right, so this becomes our C minor scale. All right, this becomes our C parallel minor scale. Okay, so instead of playing the relative minor, we brought that scale formula, all right, and played it over the C drone notes, and then we were able to arrive on our C minor scale. So realize that the C minor scale, okay, and the C major scale share the same root notes. Okay, so that is what makes it a parallel mode. Okay, so most often in improvisation, where you want to do modal substitution and all that, you don't necessarily have to go and pick the chords that you want to borrow from the relative mode, okay, but then you just do it from the chords that you create from the parallel mode. Okay, so basically that is how the parallel works. Okay, so let's take all the modes and play them over the drone note C and analyze and see how they all works. Okay, so we know of the first one, which is the Ionian scale, which is basically the major scale itself. Okay, so this is the Ionian. All right, so it is itself. So this is a major scale. All right, so we know this has a root note, a major second, a perfect fourth, sorry, a root note, a major second, a perfect third, a major third, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, perfect sixth, major seventh, and back to the octave. Okay, so we know this is how we find the intervals. These are the intervals. Okay, so it means once you're on any key, like say the key of C sharp, you can find the mode by using the perfects. You can find the mode by using the scale intervals as well. All right, so a root, a major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, back to the octave. Okay, so that is how this one works. All right, so now we move to the Dorian. Remember that the C major scale, or the first one, which is the Ionian, has the major scale formula: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. All right, and then we move to the Dorian mode. Okay, so with the Dorian mode, we know that to alter to get the Dorian mode scale, we need to alter the major scale, all right, to get our scale formula. So you don't necessarily have to choose the scale formula or the scale formulas, all right, just have the major scale formula, and once you need a particular mode, you just alter it to get what you want. All right, so starting on the second of the major scale formula, the Dorian mode scale formula will give us tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone. All right, so once we are here and then we find those notes using the formula over the C drone notes. Remember, we are playing it over the C drone notes, so that will give us this: C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C. All right, so this becomes our C Dorian. Okay, this becomes our C Dorian, and then the next on the C Dorian has a roots, okay, and then it has a major second, it has a minor third, all right, apart from the C, okay, and it has a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, a major sixth, a minor seventh, all right, apart from the C, and then back to the octave. Okay, so that is the interval relationship between the Dorian mode. So we can move to the Phrygian as well. Okay, and the Phrygian will also start on the third of the scale formula. All right, so once you alternate it, you get semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone. All right, so once you find this notes, you're gonna get C. Semitone will give you a D flat or a C sharp. All right, then tone will give you an E flat. All right, and the next one is a tone which will give you an F. The next one is a tone which will give you a G. All right, and a semitone which will give you A flat or G sharp, and a tone which will give you B flat, and a tone which will take you back to C. All right, so we know that our C Phrygian will be so that is how this works. Okay, this is basically a minor chord, a minor scale, sorry. All right, you can tell whether a scale is major or minor based on its third. Okay, so once a scale has a minor third, it is a minor scale. Once it has a major third, then it means that it is a major scale. So for this, because it has a minor third, we term this scale Phrygian scale as a minor scale. All right, and so yeah, that is the interval relationship between the C Phrygian as well. Okay, it has a root, a minor third, a root, a minor second, a minor third, a perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor. So let me go through. So it has a root, a minor second, a minor third. Okay, we know a minor third is a root, 3 steps. So 1, 2, 3. So if you don't really understand the intervals, you can go back to my other videos and then understand the interval relationship between notes. Okay, I've explained it. And then this one will give us a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth. All right, a minor sixth. Okay, minor seventh, and then back to the perfect octave. Okay, so that is for the Phrygian mode. All right, so